Hello everyone, it's Kirsty. I use astrology to solve crimes, and I'm going to go over some of my current cases, the cases that I'll be covering in the future, and ones that I've been working on for a long time with the families that I really would like to get out. This is not astrological in nature, this is purely the cases. So let's have a look. So I've been working on this case with the family of Jerry Sr. and Susan McFall since they vanished on the 11th of January 2018 from Littlefield, Arizona. Now in October, Susan and Jerry presumably were found deceased. Susan was identified, but as you can see over here, that's not the end of it. Jerry has not yet been identified and is still sitting in a line of DNA that is so long that, as you can see here, in the time since Jerry and Susan vanished and were murdered, you could have eaten at every restaurant in Mojave County for every meal, every day, twice. I'd probably say 3 times now. So it's been far too long since they've both been found. Susan, bless her soul, has been identified, but the family, Meredy McFalls and Jerry Jr. and their other family members, cannot put their parents to rest because he's sitting in a DNA line of thousands of people. So please, if anybody knows anything about the crime, contact the Mojave County Sheriff Department. If you don't want to do that, you can message me and I can pass message along to the family. If you feel the same way I do, perhaps even write a letter to Mojave County to see the end of this. There's not even a beginning of what happened to them yet. It's still in the identification phase, and this was in January of 2018. It's just far too long. It's not good enough, and this family needs to put their parents to rest. So if anybody knows anything and if anybody wants to help, please use this hashtag McFalls Mystery anywhere that you can, and write to the county sheriff, email, and push that you want this looked into because it's just far too long. So that's Susan and Jerry McFall, and I'll continue with this case until the very end, as I do with all my cases. So, such a very sad case, and I really hope that the beginning of next year brings us some more clues and brings the family a little bit of peace of mind that there can be a start in the investigation of what actually happened to them. Okay, next. Now here's another case that I have been helping and sharing as much as I can, and that is, it's not a missing person this time, it is the murder of Heather, or Brooklyn, Grigsby. And she was murdered on the 26th of April this year in Lexington, Kentucky. A beautiful girl. She was found with somebody. I won't go into everything, I'm focusing on Heather here. But she was found shot in her vehicle. So if you have any information on what happened to Heather, if you saw anything or know anybody, or you may know her as Brooklyn, please call the Lexington Police on this number down here. You can also text with a tip. You can do it anonymously. You can include videos and photos to crimes 274-637. So that's for Heather Brooklyn Grigsby, who was murdered on the 26th of April 2019 in Lexington, Kentucky. Somebody knows what happened, so please come forward and speak up. Okay, this young man is David Wise. David was last seen on Friday the 2nd of January 2015. This has been going on far too long. He was found on the next day along a dirt path leading to Cardinal Greenway in Marion, Indianapolis. So he was last seen between the hours of 6 and 7 p.m. on the 2nd of January. Now, David was murdered and there are no clues. It has become a cold case and somebody knows what happened. It has been unsolved for far, far, far too long. So if anybody knows David, knows anybody that he may know and knows what happened to him and why he ended up with a bullet in his neck and laying in a pathway in Cardinal Greenway, please come forward and say something. You can call Crime Stoppers on 765-622-TIPS, and the number in brackets is 8477. You can call 24 hours a day, you can remain anonymous, and if there is an arrest made, you could be eligible for a reward as well. So if anybody knows anything about David Wise, please contact using these details. If you don't want to do that, once again, you can message myself and I have contact with the family. You can remain anonymous if you like, it really doesn't matter, but if anyone knows anything about David Wise from Marion, Indianapolis, who was shot and murdered on the 2nd or 3rd of January 2015, please come forward and say something. Now, this gentleman's name is Michael Gorley, aged 42. He was last seen on the 17th of May, again in 2015, a long, long time ago, far too long, in Noblick Road, Stanford, Kentucky. He's 6 foot, weighs 220 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes, as you can see here. Good looking young man. He has been missing for far too long. So if you saw Michael, you know Michael, or any of his friends, or anything, or you were in this area, Route 300, Stanford, Kentucky, on the 17th of May 2015, please come forward, contact either this number here or Missing Investigations and Search Services. Again, if you feel as though you don't want to do that, you can message myself and I can get the information across. So that's Michael Gorley from Stanford, Kentucky. Someone knows something and someone knows where he is, so please keep an eye out, come forward and say what you know. Okay, here we have another case that is too old. Jesse Leopold, this young man here, was 23 when he disappeared. He is 6'1" and 180 pounds, light brown hair and hazel eyes. Jesse was last seen on the 13th of October 2016 at about 6:30 at his work at W&G Marketing in Jewel. As you can see here, his co-workers realised at 7:30 he'd left his truck. He left behind his cell phone, his shoes, his sunglasses. His roommate apparently reported that he'd been acting strangely during the day and remained quiet at work. His truck was actually found parked in a parking space before a water crossing near Ledgers State Park. As you can see, it says here it had been ticketed on the 13th of October, on the 13th of October, which is the day, for sitting overnight. The keys were still in the ignition, the doors and the toolbox were unlocked. It's pretty suspicious. There has been searches and everything, but there's been no sign of him. So if you know Jesse Leopold, or know where he went, or know anything about what happened to him, please contact this email address here, ourmissinghearts@gmail.com, or the Boone Police Department on this number here. And once again, if you don't want to do that, you can message myself and I'll make sure that the information goes across to the right people. So again, that's Jesse Leopold from Jewel. Another missing person that is very sadly missed. Okay, this is Andrea Knabel. Andrea went missing from Louisville in Kentucky on the 13th of August 2019 this year. She is 37 years old, 5'7" and 180 pounds, brown hair. You can see her here. There's plenty of pictures. Beautiful lady. She was seen at 1 a.m. or 1:30. There is a timeline and I do have a video, so have a look if you want to see a whole video on Andrea for the timeline. But somebody knows where Andrea is. She didn't just vanish. So if anybody knows where Andrea Knabel was, or what happened on the evening of the 13th of August 2019, please contact either the LMPD here with this information, Tracy Leonard, the PI. He has a Facebook page. There's a tip line online and there's a reward. So look, if you can find this information if you can't see it here, but it's here. I've tried to put it here as much as I can. But somebody knows where Andrea Knabel is. So again, missing from Louisville, Kentucky on the 13th of August this year. If you were in the area of Audubon Park or around that area at 1:30 in the morning and you saw Andrea, or you've seen her anywhere, please come forward and tell somebody. Okay, another case that I've been working on, and this is a fairly high profile one as well, and that is Karlie Guse, who was last seen on October the 13th, 2018 in White Mountain Estates, apparently walking towards Highway 6. I think it's a little too much to say that that's actually the case. They don't know. She was last seen in her house. She's 16 years old, 5'7", 110 pounds, beautiful girl, in California. Now, there's a lot of videos, information. You can Google Karlie. I have a video myself, so you can have a look through mine and see information about Karlie and possibly where she may be or what happened. But if you know anything, it's time to come forward and say, if you've seen Karlie, please let somebody know. The details will be here. They're not on this picture, but they're going to be in this circle. So if you know where Karlie Guse is or know what happened to her, please make the tip here. It's Karlie. Okay. Now this is a case I'm working on right now. It's little Dulce Maria Alavez. I pronounced it wrong in my last video. I really apologize. She's 5 years old and she was last seen on the 16th of September this year in Bridgeton City Park. She was playing in the park with her brother and she just vanished. If anybody has seen or knows what happened to Dulce Alavez, please contact this number. As you can see here, immigration status will not be questioned. So if anybody knows anything, please, this little girl needs to come home for Christmas. It's Dulce Alavez. And she was last seen, as I said, on the 16th of September. If you do have any information and you don't want to call this number, or you are concerned about immigration or anything like that, you can always message me and I will pass the message on to the authorities and we can go from there. So somebody knows what happened to Dulce Alavez, and I will be doing an extensive chart and map for Dulce soon, so keep an eye out on the channel for that. Another case that I have been working on for years with the family is the disappearance of Peggy Macquire from Eufaula, Oklahoma. Peggy vanished on the 16th of November in 2015. She was 28 when she went missing. She's got a beautiful smile. 5'10", 140 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes. She would be a little older now, obviously. So she was last seen dropping off her son at school, so at approximately 8:30. The next day at 5 a.m, a man was seen on a surveillance camera parking and exiting her vehicle at a bar called T&J's Ice House in Eufaula, and then he walked away. So that is as much as we know about that. This has been going on far too long. Peggy's mum is desperate to know what happened to her daughter. If anybody knows what happened to Peggy Macquire, please come forward, and here are the details here. Call the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigations on 580-298-5525, or there's another number, or call the McIntosh County, Oklahoma Sheriff's Office. I think I would probably call the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigations, to be perfectly honest. Or, as I've said, with all of the other ones, you can contact me. It's very safe, private, and I can pass anything along to her family. So if anybody knows where Peggy Macquire is, please come forward. Someone knows something. You know, there's many things surrounding this case that doesn't make sense, and as I said, I'm not going to go into each case in detail in this video. It'll be far too long, but every one of these people will have a separate video that you can look for and look for information with maps, so if there's searches going on, that they can be used as well. But please don't just go searching by yourself. Obviously there needs to be a search team. Anyway, I digress. If anybody knows where Peggy Macquire is, or knows what happened to her after she dropped her son off at school on the 16th of November 2015, please come forward. Of course, it'd be remiss not to mention Libby and Abby from Delphi, Indiana. We are still looking for this guy here, the bridge guy. There's the full picture of bridge guy. You can check out my other videos and you'll see him walking and talking. Here's the first sketch, here's the second sketch. It's sketchy why there's two sketches. Apparently we can combine them, look at one, look at the other, we can do whatever we want, which seems a little odd to me, as I've mentioned numerous times, because this guy looks about 45 and this guy looks 18. So I think that's how they got their age range, 18 to 40. Anyway, if anyone knows what happened to Libby and Abby, you know what to do. You know who to call. I've made so many videos on this one. It should be easy. So if you know what happened, you know who this dude is. I really think that he's got a bunch of clothes just up the top here. He's thinner than he appears and younger than he appears. I don't think this sketch is right. Either that or there's two people. You can go and look at my old videos for all that stuff. So if anybody knows what happened to Liberty German and Abigail Williams from Delphi, Indiana, or knows this dude, please come forward. If you're searching, search the churches. Okay, so this case is actually the next one that I'm going to be doing, and I will be doing the reading and the mapping. It's Stephanie Parze. Now, Stephanie's 25, but this picture, I should get another picture, actually. I'll pop another picture up too. She looks a lot younger than 25. In fact, she looks almost about 16. Stephanie Parze is really small, 4'11" and 115 pounds, so she's very teeny. Okay, so she was last seen on the 30th of October this year, so just recently, in Freehold, New Jersey. She was last at home. The family knows this, and well, basically we have a time of 10 p.m. She went to see a psychic, and then at 10 p.m. that was it. There's no more sign of Stephanie Parze, but there's a few things that surrounding the story that are quite well, that aren't good. She had an ex-boyfriend, John Osbogan, I think that's saying it correctly, I'm not sure, who was actually in custody for child pornography, which I have a feeling was probably just a way of getting him into the station. When he was released, he committed suicide. So if he did in fact do anything to Stephanie, then nobody will really know. So there's searches going on at the moment. They're searching Staten Island, Tottenville, I believe. So, as I said, I won't go into it too much now, but I will be doing a proper full case on Stephanie with a map, and hopefully I'll be doing that within the next 2 days and putting that up. That's the very next one I'm working on. So hopefully we can find where Stephanie is. And this is at the request of a family friend. So I'm going to put everything that I've got into helping do that. Now, if anybody at all knows Stephanie and knows what happened to Stephanie, please call the Freehold TWSP. I'm not sure what I'm Australian. Sometimes it's a bit hard for me to say these places. Something police, the police department on 732 462 7500. So that's Stephanie Parze, last seen on the 30th of October at 10 p.m. this year. So if you know anything about that, please call this number or message myself. I can pass the information along, or just get the information to somebody. Somebody knows what happened to Stephanie. She didn't just vanish out of thin air. And obviously her ex-boyfriend is not going to be talking anytime soon. So keep an eye out for the video coming up on Stephanie. And in the meanwhile, if you have any information, please call this number. Okay, so that's just this one video. If I haven't put your case in, I really apologise, or I've done it for a specific reason, either through safety reasons for your sake or others. So talk to me if you want me to do a video and put it up. Everyone that I talk to anyway, I know you will all talk to me if you want me to include videos. So yes, let me know if you need anything in particular put up, but if I have missed out, don't worry, I'll be doing more of these. So that's the cases that I have been working on, consistently work on now, and will be working on in the future, little Dulce and Stephanie Parze. So thanks for watching. Thank you everyone for all your comments and everything. A special thanks to Scott Lutz, who's just been such a lovely person in promoting my work and helping. And everybody take care. Thank you for watching. See you later. Bye.